Family gatherings were never a source of joy for me. They were annual performance reviews where I, Clara, the oldest daughter, was always rated needs improvement. The star, the golden boy, was always my younger brother, James. He had the high-paying job, the beautiful wife, the lakeside house. I was the hard-working, single veterinarian, often smelling faintly of animal shampoo and disinfectant. This story centers on James's huge annual summer party, the one where everyone who mattered in our city gathered to admire his success. This year, I had initially hesitated to go, but my mother insisted. "You must support your brother, Clara. It looks better if the whole family is there." So I bought a new dress, got my hair done, and mentally prepared for the inevitable condescension. An hour before I was supposed to leave, just as I was lacing up my new shoes, my phone buzzed. It was a text from James. I opened it, and the screen lit up with his cold, casual cruelty. "Don't come. Seriously. You smell like sewage. We don't need that around the lake house today. Just stay home." The air left my lungs. Not we, but you. The insult wasn't subtle. It was a targeted, calculated demolition of my dignity, stemming from decades of feeling superior to my less glamorous life. My work is honest. I save lives every day, often covered in dirt, sweat, or worse, because animals don't care about clean clothes. But James, the clean-cut venture capitalist, saw it as a joke, a stain on his perfect party. I didn't reply. I didn't pry. The familiar heat of rage that used to consume me was replaced by a cold, clear focus. This wasn't just a snub. It was the final, unforgivable act of emotional betrayal. He had just declared war, and he had given me the perfect weapon, his arrogance. He assumed his text message had successfully eliminated the problem, me, and that his party would proceed flawlessly. He assumed wrong. I was going to his party, and I was going to deliver a reckoning that would silence not just him, but the entire complicit family. I canceled my ride and drove to my clinic instead. This wasn't about saving an animal, it was about saving my self-respect. I walked into the operating room and retrieved a large, sterile container I used for medical transfers. I then went straight to the quarantined examination room, where I had performed a particularly messy emergency procedure earlier that day. I used a long pipette and filled the container with a potent, viscous mixture of, let's just call it, highly concentrated biohazard, complete with a distinctly unpleasant lingering odor. I sealed the container tightly, triple bagged it, and placed it discreetly in the trunk of my car. I changed into my dress, the new, beautiful one, and checked my appearance. I looked impeccable, but beneath the surface, I was a weapon. I drove the 40 minutes to the lake house. When I arrived, the party was in full swing, 70 people, expensive champagne, and James holding court on his immaculate deck, radiating power. I walked right past the valet and through the perfectly manicured lawn. My mother intercepted me immediately, her face tight with panic. "Clara, what are you doing here? James told you not to come. You're gonna ruin everything." She physically tried to pull me away. I held my ground, my voice even and low. "I received James's message, Mom, but I have an important delivery for him. I couldn't trust anyone else with it." She looked confused, so I kept walking, heading straight for the deck where James was laughing with his biggest client, Mr. Thompson, a powerful man who held the key to James's next huge deal. I stopped right in the middle of his perfect conversation circle. James saw me and his smile evaporated. His face turned a sickly yellow. He knew I had received the text. He saw the cold fury in my eyes. "Clara, "What is this? I told you," he began, trying to whisper, trying to maintain his veneer of control. "Don't worry, James," I interrupted, speaking clearly so that Mr. Thompson and the 10 nearest guests could hear every word. "I completely respect your concerns about sanitation. You texted me an hour ago and said I wasn't welcome because, quote, you smell like sewage." The sound of my voice saying those words made the entire conversation circle fall silent. James was sputtering, desperately trying to deny it. I didn't mean, it was a joke.
No, James. I cut him off, reaching into the bag and pulling out the sterile container. It wasn't a joke. It was cruel. But you are absolutely right to be concerned about the source of that smell. Because the reason I am here, the reason I couldn't trust anyone else, is that I am holding the proof of a massive failure in the lake house's septic system that will destroy your entire property. I held up the container for everyone to see. It looks like a legitimate official sample. I know you are trying to impress Mr. Thompson with the value of this property, James, but you can't hide this. I had a service call today at a house 2 streets over, and I was exposed to the same bacterial contamination. It's caused by a severe, untreated septic failure in this exact area. I looked directly at Mr. Thompson. Mr. Thompson, you are James's biggest investor. You need to know that this sample, taken from the ground near your dock, confirms a massive sewage issue. This lake is likely contaminated, and your investment in this entire neighborhood is about to tank. The property value of this home, built directly over the leach field, is now effectively zero, pending a 6-figure remediation. The silence that fell was total. You could hear the faint sound of the lake lapping the shore. James was hyperventilating, his eyes darting between me, the container, and Mr. Thompson. He couldn't deny it. Why? Because he knew I was a professional. He knew I had the expertise. And crucially, he knew that the smell I carried from my work was the exact verifiable indicator of the disaster I was now describing. The very insult he used to dismiss me was now the terrifying professional evidence that was ruining him. Mr. Thompson, a man of cold logic, didn't hesitate. He looked at James, then at the container, then back at James. Ventures are built on stability, James, not deception. If this property is compromised, every asset you showed me today is based on a lie. He calmly put down his glass of champagne and walked away, his exit silencing the entire family who had witnessed James's spectacular downfall. My mother ran up, grabbing my arm, her voice low and frantic. "Clara, what have you done? That was a lie! You ruined James's life over a stupid text message." I pulled my arm away. The only lie here was James's success, Mom. And you know what else is a lie? The belief that I am disposable. The sample, of course, was from the emergency surgery I performed this morning, not from his house, but the knowledge that saved my dignity and destroyed his standing, that came from the expertise he mocks. James stood on the deck, utterly defeated. His beautiful wife was crying. He had lost his biggest client, his social standing, and likely his financial footing, all because he was too arrogant to respect the sister he thought he could humiliate. The insult was public, the justice had to be too. I looked directly at James one last time. You may not like the smell of my honest work, James, but it's real, unlike your entire life. I left the party, walking through the hushed guests who had suddenly looked at me with a terrifying new respect. The golden boy was tarnished. The sewage smell was gone, replaced by the bitter odor of exposed dishonesty. I never went back to another one of James's parties. My mother finally understood that she couldn't gaslight me into accepting cruelty. I lost a brother that day, but I gained something far more important: freedom from his shadow and the cold, satisfying knowledge that I finally used my own messy, authentic life to serve the ultimate justice. The family was silenced, not by my anger, but by my truth.